Hello, this is RICKY, the Android guy. Hey guys, today we're doing another side-by-side watch comparison between the Gear S2 Classic and the Apple Watch. So we're going to compare these two side by side in all different categories and see which watch really is the best smartwatch for you. Let's dive in and see which one it is. Now, the first category we always go into is the overall look and feel between the two devices. With the Apple Watch, it has been out for a while, and for the basic style, you do have a rubber strap. However, you can get it with lots of different ones, such as leather, metal, lots of different other straps that you can get it with, which is really nice. It is proprietary straps, so you have to get the Apple straps or ones with compatible with the Apple Watch straps. But overall, it's a nice design, except for my big pet peeve about it is that you don't have any square analog watches. You only have round ones. And you can get, of course, digital ones that fit it perfectly. But even when you get third-party watch faces, you actually have to still match the same style that Apple gives them, and everything looks the same as it does with the built-in ones. So even if you get a third-party watch face maker, you really are only stuck to the different styles that you first get with Apple. Not to mention that none of the watch styles are free. With the Gear S2, you have so many different watch styles as the one that I've downloaded here. And it really is nice. I can have a Power Ranger design. I could have obviously lots of information on there, but just the styles and designs that just really look so different and unique really make this one stand out. Not to mention, of course, that they are round. So I really like that, especially coming with a leather band. And this is a standard 20mm band, which means you can swap it out for any band that you so wish to. So for this purpose, yes, the Gear S2 is the overall easily better in terms of look and feel when it comes to these two smartwatches. Now, battery life is a key factor for any smartwatch, and it's something that you don't want to have to deal with every day. However, if you have an Apple Watch, you kind of have to. Overall, yes, the battery life on this watch typically is 9 to 12 hours if you're actually using it. If you're not, you will get it through a full day, but forget about it. You need to charge it every night. Even just charging this earlier, it's been about maybe 15 minutes and already it's gone down 3%. So that does not bode well for the Apple Watch. It's just not really the best in terms of battery life, even when you're not really using it that much. Now, when it comes to the Gear S2, the battery life is simply phenomenal. Now, both have had a recent updates with the Watch OS 2, extending it to being the average more 12 hours instead of 9. But this one has extended it after having over 12 hours of usage. I'm at 82%. Now, I do have it on the 3-day lasting mode, which, yes, this one can last for 3 days. And that is that the watch isn't always active. Just when you lift it up, it will turn on. Now, that lets it last 3 days. If you have the watch face always on, you will still get 2 days of solid battery life. So, yes, the battery life after 12 hours being at this is extremely well off. So yes, for that purpose, getting it off at 8 a.m. and still having this kind of battery life, it's really great. So yes, easily the battery life will go to the Gear S2. Both have had a recent update that improved their battery life, but when it comes to overall battery life, the Gear S2 will be the better one. Now, apps and ecosystem is a big thing in your smartwatch, of course, and this is where Apple really shines. So with the Apple Watch, you really just have a lot of apps that are compatible with it on the go. Navigation through those apps, well, we'll call that for another day. But overall, yes, it does have a lot more apps at launch and continues to outpace other competitors such as Android Wear and the Gear S2 with Tizen on it. So overall, yes, for app compatibility, you just have a lot more companion apps on the Apple Watch than you do on other watches. Now, where the Gear S2 has a little bit of a shining factor is, yes, the navigation is far superior, even in the apps themselves. But where it really stands out is that, yes, you do have some standalone apps. So, for instance, you can stream music to this watch without having any phone around. So, for features like that, yes, you do have some really nice features with this as opposed to the Apple Watch. But overall, just because they're companion apps doesn't mean they're not really useful. So, the Apple Watch easily takes this for having just more overall, more useful apps than the Gear S2 does, especially out after launch. Now, charging is important when you do have to end up charging your smartwatch. The Apple's is really probably one of the lowest grade quality chargers I've seen yet on a smartwatch. I'm counting all of the old Samsung ones, which were really bad as well. But with this one, the Apple Watch, it often loses its magnetic ability in certain areas. So I've charged it before where I was a little bit off, and so it just didn't charge. Now, it does work fairly well in terms of like distance wise. Yes, it'll grab it instantly, and that's really nice. But it definitely can get knocked around very easily on a desk, and then you just have to make sure you get it back on and centered always, because it can stay like this, and then you're not charging. So that is a little bit annoying. The second part is that it's a proprietary cable that you have to use, and if you take it out of here, then you can put it to a car charger, but otherwise you can't. So it's just a bit annoying since it's a proprietary cable. Now, with the Gear S2, you have a couple of different methods. So first of all, you have this really nice charging dock style more so. It is also magnetic, so yes, it will fall easily in place. And it's a little less prone to moving out of the way or not charging correctly. If you put it on the back of here, basically, you're going to get a charge. So that's really nice. The other thing, though, is that it has a standard micro USB, so I can just take this off of its regular charger and take it in my car. Very simple and easily. Not to mention, the final part is that this can go onto any wireless charger. So I can put this on a wireless charger and just start charging. Really nice for that ability, and just has more versatility than the Apple Watch does. So for that reason, yes, I easily give the charging to the Gear S2, and I most likely think we'll see that with the Apple Watch 2, a much better charging mechanism. You've seen a lot of third parties have far superior ones than Apple themselves. So when it comes to input methods, these two devices have a very similar ability, but slightly different. On the Apple Watch, you do have the ability to scroll through and go through different quick replies. You have the ability to go through different emojis. And you have the ability to voice to text. Now, if you have an iMessage, you also have the ability to be able to draw. On the Gear S2, you have very similar abilities, and that comes from the same ability to do quick responses. As you can see, you can customize it to do whatever you want it to be. You also have the ability to do voice to text. Of course, you have the ability to do emojis, and then you also have the ability to do a full keyboard. Now, because these two do have their own unique method, I do have to give this one a tie just because they have the basic setup the same, but they have one extra feature, which is the ability to input full keyboard, which can be quite easy, or you have the ability to do a little drawing, which can be quite unique with iMessage users. So overall, the input method, we will have to give a tie, just having a similar yet different type of way of inputting onto the smartwatch. Now, when you have these two come up against call and text messaging, we just went over the text messaging category, but where this one doesn't stand a chance is in calling. Why is that? Because Samsung did a silly, stupid thing, and you cannot take calls on the Gear S2 Classic. You just can't. On the Apple Watch, you can. This is really interesting because every Samsung smartwatch before this one could do that, but now this one can't. So for that reason, although both are very similar in text message, the Apple is the only one that can take calls. So for that reason, the Apple will win the call and text category because it does a better job of it. In the extras category, these two are very similar, right? You have heart rate sensors, you have every kind of pressurized mechanism you can think of on a watch, and smartwatch, stopwatch, all that kind of stuff. But what is different? Well, the major difference comes between the straps between these two. So with the Apple Watch, you do have a proprietary strap that you do have a lot of different straps available for. However, it is proprietary, and therefore you do have to get the ones Apple tells you can. So because of that, it's often found to the point where I can't get it off right now. I got it off a second ago. But it does get to the point where you have to get the ones that Apple tells you to get. So you have to get those. With the Gear S2, well, you can get any band. That's what really makes it stand out. I can go to any watch store and get any 12 millimeter band. So I can get a Rolex band, I can get a metal band, a rubber band, Swiss band, whatever kind of fossil, every brand, Burberry, Gucci, whatever brand you want to get, you can get for the Gear S2. And that in itself really stands out. And for that reason, the Gear S2 will easily take the extras category because you have a lot more accessories available to you than even the Apple Watch does. So for that reason, the Gear S2 will take the extras category. And finally, we come down to price point. Now, between these two, they both start at $349. However, there is a preference with this. That is for the smaller size one, not the one we have right here on the Apple Watch. For this size, it starts at $399. So the Gear S2 Classic will start at $349 regardless. Obviously, there's only one size. But that's a really big miss for Apple simply because you have to get, not the nicest style watch at $399. You have to spend a little bit more to get a non-silicone rubber band. So for that reason, better bang for your buck. You do get a nice leather band with a bigger screen for the Gear S2 Classic than you do with the Apple Watch. So we will give this one the better bang for your buck, just coming in at $50 cheaper with the same size of the ring. And if you get the smaller one, you would have a smaller one at the same price point. So overall, yes, I would give it to the Gear S2 when it comes to better bang for your buck between these two watches. All right, let's tie them up and see who won. When it comes to look and feel, the Gear S2 Classic just clearly looks better round design, and the watch faces just fit it more personally, especially since you just have so many more to choose from. When it comes to battery life, the Gear S2 lasts 2 to 3 days, whereas the Apple Watch still is every night charging. When it comes to app support, however, the Apple Watch easily is going to be better than the Gear S2, just having way more apps at launch and continuing to past the launch. When it comes to charging, however, Gear S2 Classic will take it back again, just having the better overall charging experience and more charging compatibility. Input method will be a tie on both. The Gear S2 has the ability to have a full keyboard, whereas the Apple Watch has the ability to do quick drawings and send them to people with iMessage. When you have call and text, you do have to go with the Apple Watch just simply because Gear S2 Classic can't take a call. And for that reason, Apple Watch will easily take it. When it comes to the extras category, you will go to the Gear S2 Classic yet again, just having the better overall extras because you can switch out the band with any 20 millimeter band out there on the market. When it comes to price point, both are $349, but the Apple Watch will have the smaller screen for that price, so if you want the bigger screen, you have to spend $50 more. Overall, for that reason, it will win price point on the Gear S2 Classic. And finally, when we tally them all up, that means the Gear S2 Classic takes it. It is just a superior smartwatch for look and feel, battery life, charging, price point, and extras. The Apple Watch definitely has to take, though, app support and text and calling ability, so if those two features are more important to you, you want to go with the Apple Watch. Alright guys, thank you for watching. Please give a like, thumbs up down below. This has been RICKY, the Android Guy.